All right, and we're off. I'm playing Akiyama for the 18th weekly opener. So, looking at his hand, it looks like he is a bit weak to the right. I see very strong going up, 8s and 7s, and I'm quite weak going down. So, if the game is up facing, he is going. I'm never going to be able to have safety in the down facing direction from my point of view. He has an 8 to the left. That is also not matched in my hand. Then a bunch of 7s, which I might be able to work well off. If the game starts on the right, he has a lot of cards that if in that middle row, my 8-7-6-4 will be able to punish against. So my instinct is I definitely want to be starting on the right side of the board here. Going down, another 8, also a 7. Pretty weak after that. I can match the 8. I have good ways of handling downward 8s. And then to the right, 6 max. So my first instinct was something like 7, 7, 4, 7, and 9. But I think I just don't have a punish against 8, 5, 8, 1 in 6. Maybe I can play just 6, 7, 4, 8, and 8, just recapture my card. That is pretty logical. And that might be pretty good there. It has forced him to use a big down power card, so it is difficult for him to attack it quickly and effectively. Yeah, that could be very promising. What else might I put in either 3 or 9? But I think preferably 9, right? That seems like the hardest square. It is a little annoying that the 8-5-8-1 has the plus wall against my card. It makes it harder to play next to. But I have a lot of 7s facing to the right, so I'm probably pretty safe in 8 anyway. If they do not address it, I do threaten to go in 6. So I should check, do they have a setup in 7 that gives them a serious threat in 8? They certainly do. 8-5-8-1 and 7, though, they don't want to do, because then I go in 8 and they have nothing anywhere. And the other option there that I see is 7-6-2-8, which also leaves them with difficulties taking stuff back. And I think I just play 6-7-4-8 and 8, and it's just hard for him to capture stuff. So all right, people are mentioning putting bets on people. All right, what we got? Is there a big setup in 5? Usually not too scared of setups in 5, but also there just kind of isn't one. So 7-7-4-7 and 9 looks really promising. Now, are there other cards that would have similar effect? 8-5-6-6 there, I really don't like giving them the pure plus wall with 7-6-2-8, and I don't have a recapture. So moves like that seem unlikely. It is worth noting, I don't have a recapture from 6, but because I don't think they ever seriously threaten 8 without me blocking 8 first, I think that is fine. I also think it is somewhat difficult for them to play an opposite corner, so I think this is a pretty strong starter, and he has a quite poor hand. I also like that it doesn't give up kind of non-redundant power. Yeah, so they're talking about odds making. Quite fittingly, my most recent triple try project, because I've not been playing much of late, and when I have, Akiyama and Delial have been crushing me. But one project I've been working on is using ratings to see if the odds that you can get from the ratings actually predict results. And they do a pretty decent job. I think they slightly underestimate how strong the favorites are. But, you know, in matchups where someone was a 50 to 60% favorite, so you might think they should score 55%, they're scoring 59%. So a little more, but not like way off the charts. And there's a bunch of stuff like that where where I think it's pretty decent predictions. It also predicts, you can put it on the chat tournaments that we've been having, 8 or 16 players. In fact, I could right now do it for this week's chat league tournament. So let's actually bring that up, see what it says. Incidentally, my next turn is going to be the critical move of the game. Okay, they've gone. So I think this is like the critical turn for me to get right. Because this is the turn where I think my starter applied real pressure. And now if I can find one good move, it could be very difficult for them to save the game. Now, 6 looks really plausible. I should pay attention. Stop doing the rating stuff. Okay. I can play 6, 7, 7, 5, and 7, but they're 8, 5, 8, 1, and 6 combo stuff back, which makes me think I want to block 6. I don't think there's a good case for 4. When I don't have a good reaction to 6, it feels like just giving ground. 6 is a serious threat. So what if I block 4 and also say you used up a lot of right power? I think the obvious move to do it with is 8, 5, 6, 6. 8, 5, 6, 6 continues to not give them 5, creates a threat of my own in 5, and they have no capture in 3. So it looks to me like it locks in a card, it is safe itself, and it creates a threat. It's hard to beat that. So the question is, does he have a big setup in 2? I think that's the first question. There are some others. So I'm now checking, does he have a big setup in 2? The answer is, I think, 7, 6, 4, 7 can be set up to land in 5 by putting either a 7 or a 5 down from 2. However, both of these moves, well, one of these moves, the one with the 1 to the left sets up 8, 5, 8, 1 to have the combo. All right, so I think, because if he goes with 8, 4, 5, 7, and 2, my 6, 7, 4, 8 is just fantastic, dominates the board, and I think I can go somewhere like 7 and leave 5 and 3 open because it's going to have great play in both squares. So I think the plan is 8, 1, 7, 7, and 2. Interesting. Now, notably, if they do that, they don't have from 5 a capture of both 8 and 6. Therefore, I might be able to just go in 7 there. I'm not sure. It's an interesting idea. 8, 1, 7, 7, and 2. Now, I could just play in 6 and assume I have something there. I think that would be a reasonable thing to do, especially because I do not think I have anything in 4. They do have a real threat in 6, so unless I have some way to like prepare in advance for that by going in 2, I don't want to give them that. I obviously don't want to play 5. 7's the only real alternative. I do have safety in 7, but after they go 6, I don't have a good move in 1. So I kind of think I have to play 6 and walk into it. Because I have so many squares too. The only square I don't have is 3, but I'm not sure they'll have a good moment to play in 5. Perhaps I could even leave 7 open such that anytime they go in 5 with 7, 6, 4, 7, which is their only capture in 5, I have the recapture. So, okay. So far promising, but I wanted to set up the rating predictions. So this week's bracket is Delial has already beaten Doom Train. So I will include Doom Train in the odds, but then I'll switch that to being a bye because we know he already won. And I set up my thing to be able to include buys. I'm very proud of myself. Then we have Turds versus Yevon, Akiyama versus Was Up, Vialva versus Random Hero. This is using a rating system that still thinks I'm really, really good. I haven't been playing so well recently. So yeah, it thinks the winner of this matchup is favored to win the tournament and that I am favored. It's probably overrating me by quite a bit. If we give Delial a bye, I didn't set up this bracket to include buys. Shoot, I was so proud of myself. But the 8-player bracket I don't have set to include buys. I'll figure that out later. Anyway, so it thinks overall for the tournament was up 45%, Akiyama 21%, Delial 17%, Turds 8.5%, and the others sub 5%. Even though like Yevon and Vialva, Doomtrain, and Random Euro are good players, thinks the top group are that strong. All right, so he does play in the expected square, and now we have to find something. So gotta think. All right, what if we do something forcing? Let's just force the action. What happens if I go in 3? Say with 6, 7, 4, 8. They can play 7, 6, 4, 7 in 5, which combos me. However, I think I win because they capture 2 cards, they go up 7, 3, but I play 6, 7, 7, 5, and 7. I combo 2 cards back, it is 5, 5. No, they have 8, 4, 5, 7, and 6, 4 at the end. And even though I combo that, it doesn't combo any extra cards. Okay. So, can we do this a cleverer move order? So I go in 3, they go in 5, I start in 1. I start in 1, I make it 6, 4, and any card they put in 4, I will combo from 7 because I flip 8, which flips 5, which flips 4, and any card they put in 7, I take with the 7-5 part of my card, and with the same, I'm going to flip the card in 5. So if I go 6, 7, 4, 8 in 3, I think he can't go 5. I think I have too much combo potential. Specifically, I go 3, he takes the same in 5, and then I go 8, 7, 6, 4 in 1, and I trail 6, 4, but I think he's dead. So I think I want to just force the action in 3. I should check if he has other moves, but we can kind of think through this quickly. If I go 6, 7, 4, 8 in 3, and they don't go 5, I'm up 6, 4. They can't even take back in 1. And I have 2 cards I can put in 5. Could they set up such that they have the combo against both of them? I don't think so. I really don't think so. So I think 6, 7, 4, 8, and 3 just ends the game. We should make sure of things. But again, if he goes in 5 and doesn't combo, I have so much power left. If he and I'm up, and it's already just 5, 5, or I'm up 6, 4. No, it'll be 5, 5. But if he doesn't go in 5, he has no right power. The only scary thing is that 7, 6, 4, 7 has the plus wall in 7. Does that ever matter? Probably not. I'm probably playing 6, 7, 7, 5 in 5. Yeah, I think this works. I never really checked anything else, which I probably should have done, but I wanted to check the forcing line, and I had a good feeling about it. The other main move I'd consider is 6, 7, 7, 5, and 7, but I think this just works, so I'm going to play it. If I blew it, that is a shame. But, you're never going to calculate everything, especially while talking. For what it's worth, with 5 moves left, you certainly can calculate everything here. Should put in the Delial game first. So, Delial played Doomtrain. And chat tournament number 18. Must be very boring to hear me say this, but that's okay. You have a game to watch. That's an interesting position. Round 1. What's our rule set? Level 7, same plus wall, random combo. I never checked the rules. That was very dumb. And the game went 9, 6, 8, 7, 3, 5, 2, 4, 1. That was the Deli game. Deli was second turn. And Doom Train 4, Delial 6. Just putting in the cards and moves, so I have it. Someday I might go through every one of these tournaments and judge the winners. Akiyama had a very bad hand here, by the way. I think I would have... Assuming I win... If he ties this, then he did a miracle, and I don't think I would have tied this in his spot. And if he doesn't tie this, it doesn't mean he did something wrong. This was a very tough random. Similarly, last time when we played, I thought we played pretty balanced. Maybe he outplayed me by a little, and then I got a hand that was just a loss from the start, and he played perfectly, so I never had stood any chance. And this game feels kind of similar to that. Assuming I haven't blown something here. But he has so little right power, it's just so hard for me to imagine. Like, maybe there's something fantastic in 4. But I mean, I checked 4. Because I checked, does anything in 4 ever set him up to have 1? Because if it doesn't, then I can block 5 and I'm just up 6-4 and the game's over. So, how'd this game go? 7, 7, 4, 7, and 9. 7, 6, 2, 8, and 8. I blocked 6. He had this clever idea in 2, but I do not think it worked. What else is happening out there in the world? Alright, what's happening? We're still thinking. Sachi's been on a roll. Nice. We always love when Sachi's doing well. I learned I've been saying Sakaya wrong. I will from now on try my best to say Sakaya. Please correct me if I, pronounce names wrong. I really don't want to be doing that. And I'm sorry to them. The video where I learned that came out forever ago, so I'm sure I've made mistakes on that since, because I do not put out my videos in exactly chronological order. I record all the games in chronological order, which means probably a week ago you're watching a game from like January or December, and then this video you're watching a game from March because I just didn't play in February, or played very little. But... And then the power rankings I have to do time of, right? Because I can't see the future. I can't record the February power rankings, in December. So those I have to do time of. So if I make mistakes in those, it will take me months and months to correct them. All right, what's the rule sets for future rounds? Next round's level 10. All rules. When I say all rules, of course I don't mean elemental. And the final round's level 4, no plus wall. Interesting. I don't think I'm one of the better players at adapting, of the kind of elite players at adapting to no plus wall. I think I can do a decent job when you kind of pull out a normal rule like plus or same. I do a decent job of adjusting my calculations. But I think taking out the wall rules fundamentally changes which squares matter a bit. And I'm good at seeing the normal squares that matter and then adjusting for how they work without rules. But I think without certain rules, I don't understand what matters as much. And so there's this GitHub, I can bring it up in a different window maybe, that plays with the original triple triad rules. Let's make sure this is muted. And so you can do a bunch of rules, including same wall, but there's no plus wall, and same wall obviously doesn't come up much. And I just don't calculate well on it. It's not a very strong program. If you take your time, you get to win. And if you play quickly, you usually win too, because the program is terrible. But it also just does stuff where it uses sides much more effectively, and that makes sense because the less there are walls, the more sides can be paired with a recapture card, or if someone goes in the middle, a side that is strong going side to side could just be safe. And I don't do as well seeing opportunities around that at a distance. I think I see the obvious ones, but I don't have the kind of subtler, deeper looks that I think some people do. I should probably screenshot this position just to make sure in case of a timeout, though I don't think Akiyama times out. But just in case he disappeared or anything. Delial, well noted for always going down to like 3 seconds left, so if you screenshot every time he was low on time, you just, screenshot every move. Alright, goes in 1. So if I go 6, 7, 7, 5 in 5, I don't flip anything. And he plays 7, 6, 4, 7 in 7, and somehow my 8, 7, 6, 4 has no captures. If I go 8, 7, 6, 4 in 5, then he cannot go in 7, but he does have the same in 4, but I still have the combo back in 7, and I win. So I'm going to be playing 8, 7, 6, 4, and 5. Let's just check the other moves, though, 8, 7, 6, 4, and 4 doesn't do anything. 6, 7, 7, 5, and 4. Is pretty cute, actually. It doesn't win because they have the same in 5, so even though I combo back, I don't flip enough cards. At least I think it doesn't win. Yeah, I should just play the win I see in 5. So let's recheck that just to make sure. 8, 7, 6, 4, and 5. The score will be... Oh no! Because he has 7, 6, 4, 7, because that accidentally flips 8. So it will be 6 for me. He will flip back everything. It will be 8, 2, and I will have a triple capture, but no more. That's 5, 5. 8, 7, 6, 4, and 5 is a tie. Right? Because I go up 7, 3. He flips 5 cards. So he goes up 8, 2 with 7, 6, 4, 7, and 7. And I only get 3 back. All right, so that's a tie. 6, 7, 7, 5, and 5, also a tie. All right, now we're a little more worried. 8, 7, 6, 4. No, that doesn't work. So 6, 7, 7, 5 in 4. If they go in 7, I go in 5. And I flip 8, which flips 7, which flips 4 back. So I win. If they go in 5, they can take the same in 5. They flip 4 cards. And I only flip 3 back. So 6, 7, 7, 5, and 4 does not work. Oh. I think I blew this. Wow. I should have checked more carefully. 6, 7, 7. No. This is fine. Sorry. I'm an idiot. He doesn't have the triple capture in 5. He only has the double capture. So I can play 6, 7, 7, 5, and 7. Right? I flip 8. I go up 7, 3. He doesn't flip 8 back when he plays 7, 6, 4, 7, and 5. So he takes 3 cards, goes up 6, 4, and I have the double capture at the end with 8, 7, 6, 4. So 6, 7, 7, 5 in 7 should be my win. 7, 3. They don't have any captures in 4, so they must go 5, 6, 4. Wow. I was very slow to find this. Got scared there. Never like showing weakness in the videos. Always want to pretend I saw everything. But I I did not. I did not. It felt like it should be working. I'm kind of lucky it was. Ooh, phew. Scary. Deli says he would have handled this quite differently. I believe him. Probably a cleaner way, but so I appear to have typed in too many moves this game. How did this go? 9, 8, 6, 2, 3, 1. I already typed in 1, 7, 5, 4. Nice. So you would have played 6, 7, 4, 8, and 5. Interesting. Another way to just calculate out to the end. But okay, we get the win. Hopefully can follow it up. Still have never beaten Delial in one of these tournaments, and he is a decent chance to be my finals opponent. 3, 1, 7, 5, 4. All right, I'm curious. So let's give me a sec to type in the cards, and then I will try to bring in the solver. Curious if there was a save there for him, because that hand was not good. I bet there were a few, but it was a tough path. But I could be wrong. Could have been none. But I would take, after my starter, 8 moves that tied. That's my guess, out of 32. Out of 40, I mean. Official guess. And I will try to remember to properly flip the screen over so you can see this once I've brought it up. Just have to put in the cards. Happy to have won that, though. I've not really won many games of recent, so nice to win a game against a top player. All right, let's switch over. Did it work? Yeah, okay. So I played here. Nope. I played here. And all right, the first tie it says is this it thinks did tie. Interesting. I had assumed I had good play there. Thinks this is a second tie. This is a third tie. These are pretty obscure moves, and this looked terrible because I just go in 8. Is it going to find any more? All right, found one more tie. 4 ties. This. This is this is not a human move, right? No recapture from 1. Yeah. I thought this looked horrible. Apparently there's 3 ties. But yeah, this is not human, right? You didn't, come into this being like, yeah, got him. That's hard to find. Also, this is like not what someone's actually going to do. And this is, I think, the most findable path. Because you do set up a threat. Yeah, no, this is findable. If you spot this, because you see you have the threat in 4 and 6. So this was a way to see a tie. If you see this move in 7, which I did see, and then look 1 turn deeper, I thought this looked really good. They have 1 card for captures, and it can't hit every square. But if you see 1 move further, this is findable. I think this was kind of the one really findable tie. I think this is also possible to play. And probably not this, because if you identify it's an up-down game, this is maybe a card you want to hold on to. So I think these were the 2 human findable ties, but no, this is a terrible hand for him. My condolences. I played here, which was the only winning move. He played here, which was a good try. Now, Deli said he would have played 6, 7, 4, 8, and 5, which wins. And I played here, which also wins. So, nice job to both of us. I'll tell Deli, he'll be happy. Turds has also suggested a move. He suggested 6, 7, 7, 5 here. And this is the tie there. So that's pretty obscure, right? 4 is the least likely square to be played in. Maybe 1 or 4. Probably 1, but okay. Anyway, happy with that game. Let us switch back over because we have a game to watch. Ooh, Piggy's playing. And I think I could just make this a new video watching this, but I'd rather just watch and see what happens. Turds has questions. Did I close the other window? Yeah, I did. Sec. Anywho, alright, what's this game look like? Deli's got first turn, so he is going to take forever, which means this video is going to be a long one. Looking at Akiyama's hand first for directional strengths, 10 up, 10 left, 8 down, 9 right. So again, Akiyama with a hand kind of bad down right. Deli's probably not great at exploiting that. Checking the big corners for Deli, they all seem pretty well covered. It's hard for him to play a big corner. Huh. Maybe 5A, 7, 6, and 3? You have every capture in 2 comboed back except 7, 9, 8, 4, which you could then potentially play 6, 5A, 7, and 1, and at least you'd have that safety, and you'd have a threat against 3. So there's no way to capture in 2 all that comfortably. And you also have combos back against one of the captures in 6. They're not that many, but you can also always recapture against that. So I think it makes capturing, it sort of creates a threat to go in 6 after, because Akiyama doesn't have great play in 2. But, meh. Alright, he goes for a different card in 3. Alright, Turds was talking on a different turn. Oh! 6, 7, 7, 5, and 5 did win. Why did I think this didn't win? I'm up 6-4. I'm up 6-4. I just didn't realize the score. Okay, well then I freaked out for nothing. Wow, very suspicious. We'll pretend that never happened. Back to this game. And we got Turds watching too, so that's fun. I think of the active players, of the very active players, there's a pretty clear top 3 since the return of the site, of, in some order, Akiyama, Delial, and myself. And so it's always fun to get games between the pairs. In general, I have put up a big plus against Akiyama. He has beaten me once, and I have a bunch of wins. Delial has beaten me repeatedly, and I have no wins in tournaments. and Akiyama has put up a solid plus against Deli. So we've sort of had a triangle of success. It may be all small sample stuff where it was just determined by who happened to get crappy randoms, but I also think there is, like, Delial clearly gives my style issues, and he adjusts nicely to it. Alright, so Akiyama's 6-7-7-8 is a bomb now. And unlike my move in 3, not to say it was necessarily better, but a downside of this one is Akiyama already has a really good capture in 2 against this, rather than with my version not really having play in 2. So this is a tough position, because it's really hard for Deli to block the in-between square, right? He's so susceptible to being comboed. He has no threat in 8, and he has no threat in 6. So Akiyama's card is safe. It is perfectly covered by 6-7-7-8 if it happened not to be. He has this big combo in 2 that threaten 2. So if you're Deli, I think you're checking 5. I think A8, 7, 4, and 5 is like a really key move to consider. And specifically A8, 7, 4 rather than 5A, 7, 6, because you want to create a threat in both 6 and 8. Sadly, you create it with different cards, and you use up a card with decent rightward power, but your hand is filled with cards with rightward power, so giving up any one of them isn't going to really change that. And that might be the kind of move that can clarify the game. Because if you go A8, 7, 4, and 5, Akiyama cannot go in 6, or maybe he can, but it's dangerous to go in 6 because Deli has the combo back. If Akiyama goes in, it's dangerous for Akiyama to go in 8 because basically the corner he played has higher numbers facing out than anything he has next to it. So if Deli can set up combos on both sides, it's very hard for Akiyama to play near that. The downside of Deli going in 5 is he doesn't have the same card for both 6 and 8. And in fact, he has a combo in 2 as well, but that requires the third card in his hand. So he will have tons of combos, but perhaps Akiyama can wait out the clock, and every time Deli uses a card, he has one less square covered, and Akiyama can just leave them open and then force him to play on the last turn with whatever he doesn't have. So there is danger to that, but A8, 7, 4, and 5 looks standard as a way to try to clarify. And one thing I really like about A8, 7, 4, and 5 is first of all, where's Akiyama going to go? If Akiyama goes somewhere like 4, Deli, I think, can occupy 6, can take that kind of half-safe square, because if Akiyama combos in either 2 or 8, Deli can combo back in the other and make sure he has that card under control. So more likely, if Akiyama wants to delay blocking the combo squares so that Deli runs out of cards that can go in them, Akiyama will play in 1 or 7. And then I think Deli should be able to start using the squares, playing 7A5, 7 in 8, which will likely be safe, say, against a move in 7, that card's locked in, and not susceptible to combos back. And maybe can manage a tie there, though a downward gain is not great. It's hard to come up with too many other candidate moves. The reason I go to 5 is because I can't occupy 6 well, and because I want play against their card. The other main moves are 1, 4, and 7, and I just didn't see anything appealing there. Maybe you do. That would be great. Not saying there isn't anything, just saying it is not visibly apparent to me. I'm going to send a message to Turbs. Curious what he thinks the main idea here is, because I've literally seen one idea here. Maybe we'll chuck it in the good old solver and just see how many ideas are out there. At least put the cards in so that it's easy to check if we want to. Piggy has said he likes it when I cut away because I can show variations. So I can sort of show what I'm thinking without having it all be just me announcing numbers. So maybe this is a good time to do so. Yeah, that's the last card. Because Deli will use up all his time. Which is good practice. not hating. So let's cut over to my other window, and we had here. I wanted instead to go here, but we'll see the comparison later. Akiyama went here, which just looks so great visually. And Delial has how many ties? 11 ties. So there are a lot of paths. My guess is this move, which does tie, though that doesn't mean it's not under pressure. And there might be other ideas. Alternatively, I wanted to start here. So after Deli's starter, 13 of 40 moves lose, about a third, which is a pretty normal starter rate. Against my starter, looks like it's going to be less. Though just the pure count on move 1 isn't always very definitive for how strong a starter is. I have not found a way to use the program to really do well at figuring out how pressureful starters are. Because, for instance, imagine someone plays an AA corner, and there is a very obvious 5 setup move against it that just destroys it, that just like makes it look terrible. But every other move loses because then the AA could be locked in. It's going to say 1 move ties, but in practice, that move is played a huge percentage of the time, and the starter is not very good. Here, Deli's starter wins about twice as much as mine does, and it's probably better, but not necessarily. Right here. Do we have a move? We do have a move. You'll never guess what it was. A8, 7, 4, and 5. We're on the same wavelength. Yeah, so Turds thinks Akiyama can't go 6. It does look dangerous to go there. I do think, like, just on a logical level, right? Delial has the best card for 2, has maybe not the best card for 6. 6, 7, 7, 8 is the best card for 6, but his good play in 6 and his good play in 8. Akiyama also is play in 8, but Deli is better play. So Deli has better play in 8 and 2 and very good play in 6, and Deli is last turn. Sometimes that would mean you want to start blocking those key squares. You want to make sure they're left open. But because each one of them is a different card that never works in any of the other squares, right? 9956 is great in 6. Great. Triple capture. You know, all with combos. But it's pretty crappy in 2 and 8. You know, it has a capture in both. It's not unusable. But if he's left with that as his final card, all Akiyama has to do is block 6, and Akiyama isn't losing that game and might win it. And same thing for the other cards, is they all have kind of this limited power. So I do think the instinct for Akiyama should be to go 1, 4, or 7. So that would be my guess. Curious, actually. Where are the ties for Akiyama? So 14 moves tie. What squares are they in? 4, 8, 6. 8 and 6 goes very much against what I said. 4, 7. So I guess I'll just count how many in each square. There is 1 tie in 1. There is 2 ties in 2. 2 is better than 1. Would not have predicted that. We're exposing me as a fraud. There are 3 ties in 4. I would have expected 4 to be one of the better squares. There are 3 ties in 7. Would have expected 7 to be one of the better squares. There are 2 ties in 8. 2 and 8 are better than I would have predicted. And there are 2 ties in 6, also better than I would have predicted. So I have been exposed. This is, and he's already gone. We have 2 players that play at very different speeds here. See what's going on. I was only kind of speaking in generalities. Interestingly, this 7A57 now looks so good on the bottom row, and 5a7-6 looks so good on the top row. So my instinct against 4 was already to go 9-5-6-9 and 5 in 6, sort of saying, if you combo me, I combo back. But actually, we don't necessarily. If 6-7-7-8 goes in 8, there isn't a combo back. But don't our cards look beautiful there? We just have two such great sweepers for the remaining game. I assume this is one of them ties, but this does look scary. Like, Delial's cards are just so clean. If he plays 9-9-5-6 and 6. The problem is, if 9-9-5-6 and 6 doesn't work, then the cards stop being clean, right? Because then you're going to have to block a row that you'd kind of want to leave open for your sweeper there, or you're going to have to use one of the sweepers in a square like 6. So I think the critical try is going to be 9-9-5-6 and 6, and if it doesn't work, we can go over to the analysis board. If it doesn't work, and there's problems. But like, I thought this looked good. You know, 5a6-7-6 just kills the endgame here. Yeah, this is just a win, right? Yeah. So there's not the immediate combo. There's also this one, but I assume the same thing happens. Yeah, this is also a win. These are two really good sweepers. Is there a save here? Now, for there to be a save, what needs to happen? What needs to happen, I think, is combo potential on the card in 5. So I think the save has to be in 1 or 7, if there is one. I haven't checked yet, but I do... Actually, that's a lie. I did see that there wasn't a win here, so I know this move isn't winning, so I know there must be at least a save, but I'm trying to find it. If you find it faster, congrats to you. I think it has to be in 1 or 7, because I think it has to rely on combo potential. Like, there's ideas like this, saying I have the combo back in 8, using 5 to flip 2. And I just don't think it works, because you combo too many extra cards, and then I combo back really hard. So I think this one loses. Yeah. You can't slide under as well down here. We already looked at this. This just loses because I have my two sweepers, right? 7a5-7 for the bottom, 5a7-6 for the top. So I'm thinking 1 or 7. Kind of has to be 1 because you need Delial to not be able to play in 2, right? All right, Delial did not go 6. Interesting. Let's see what the tie was here. We'll move on to the game in a sec. Tie was here. Because Delial cannot go in 2. And actually here, he only has 1 tie. He must play here. And then Akiyama can take me to a tie. Very interesting. Okay. Let's go back to the game. I'll make sure to flip you over. Let me know if these cutaway cameras are good. Interesting. Turds would have been looking at 2. That's very curious. Because So we know this position is a tie because we know Deli wasn't winning. Or a loss. It could be a loss. Deli takes safety. Akiyama, however, does have a combo in 7 if he wants it, but it's never good because Deli so easily combos back. Or is it never good? You could easily imagine a line where Akiyama plays Ward in 7, Deli plays Magus in 8, and Akiyama plays 6, 7, 7, 8 in 6, combos everything. But 9, 9, 5, 6 now has the plus in 2. But that doesn't combo back too much extra, right? Because it hits 3, which hits 6, but the 6 combo doesn't extend. Let's switch back to the analysis board. The knowing Akiyama has probably moved, and he has. Well, I'm going to sneakily on the side go back to the board to just see what the solver says, because I'm lazy. There were 2 ties here, both of them in 7. And Akiyama indeed does play 7. Very nicely played. I might be less impressed if I was calculating and spotting stuff, but I think this is nicely and comfortably found. Worth noting, of course, Ward to 8. Well, let's actually look at that line. Bring it up. Analysis board. Ward to 8. I said Magus here, 6, 7, 7 here, this here. It does flip enough. The plus is key. That does turn it. Why did Skype open? What's happening? Alright, well, we're quitting that. Sorry about that. So that is winning for Deli. So 7 doesn't work, so he went here. Or that card in 7 doesn't work, but I think this one in the game does. Deli goes in 8. And what's Akiyama's card? 6, 7, 7, 8 is... Yeah, if it goes in 6, because it critically combos 5 and 4, as well as 9, they'll end with 5 cards, because they'll have 4 on the board and 1 in the hand. Yeah. Oh, very interesting game. No one made any mistakes, but they both found nice ways to complicate. And I guess we'll call it a video. This is my first well-played game in a while, so I'm pretty happy with it. And soon I will be playing Metis for the semifinals of the Evans Champions League tournament, where I hope I can hold my own. Cheers.